Real Virginia is produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Farming, it's all good. Visit our website at vafarmbureau.org.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Hello everyone and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce all of the wonderful products we enjoy. Ever wonder what livestock shows at the State Fair Virginia are all about? You can find out by joining tour guides called Moo U this year. We have a cool recipe for watermelon salad to wrap up your summer meals. And as college students head back to campus, career prospects are bright for those who major in agriculture. Welcome back, everyone. We're here at Meadow Event Park in Doswell, Virginia, which is the site of the State Fair of Virginia, which will be going on later this month. And of course, the State Fair means fun for everyone, but the main focus is to celebrate the state's agriculture industry. And there's a new feature that's going to be going on here at the fair this year that will help give some insight to fairgoers on the livestock industry. State fairs combine fun foods, games, rides, shows, music, and animals. Lots of them. Livestock competitions are a large part of virtually every state fair, and 4-H and FFA students from around Virginia will be competing for scholarship money by exhibiting their animals at the fair this fall. To help consumers better understand this process, Moo U will take the State Fair of Virginia customers on an hour-long educational journey through the livestock tents, explaining the details of how these mini competitions work. Students, cows, goats, lambs, and pigs are being judged on behavior, looks, cleanliness, and many other traits. Moo U will tell you what judges are looking for, how the students prepare their animals, and much more.
Those exhibitors are getting their livestock ready. A lot of times they just don't have time to stop and answer the general public's question. I can stand there and answer their questions all day long. We have people at other state fairs, they come back year after year and they go, we learn something new every year because we're non-scripted. So what I tell you on a tour is things that I find really quirky and interesting. And then maybe another tour guide, you go the next time with another tour guide, they they're going to give you the same facts, but maybe they're going to tell you something a little different that they thought was really interesting.
For 50 minutes, Moo U guides take fairgoers on a whimsical walking tour, explaining all about turkeys, ducks, chickens, pigs, cattle, sheep, goats, and rabbits. During the walk, you can learn that young goats are called kids, what the color of chickens' earlobes mean, how many glasses of milk a dairy cow produces in a day, and if pigs sweat or not.
We had shown shorthorn cattle since they were just little kids all over the United States. And I noticed that in the barns, when I would be sitting, waiting for them to get done with chores, feeding, washing, whatever they were doing with the livestock, as the public would walk through, they were really interested in what was going on. And they would ask a lot of questions. And so that's where kind of the idea was born.
Xanthus says that Moo U guides want to change the way the general public views the production livestock industry.
I'm a little voice, I say, you know, and I hope I do my job. I think that it's important to get the word out there. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm trying to give you facts so that you can make more educated decisions as a consumer and as a voter.
Each Moo U tour guide has an extensive background in agriculture and has been trained to provide a fun and educational tour the whole family will love.
Everybody is a consumer, and agriculture is consumer driven. And it's extremely important to educate the public. I always say that we're all consumers, even children, but more importantly, our children are someday going to be voters. And so we want them to understand that production livestock are not pets. They don't make good pets. They have a purpose, and it's not just a food source, it's all the byproducts we get from them. And people are amazed when we start talking about byproducts.
For more information on Moo U Tours program, you can check them out on the web at mooUtours.com.
Early in the 20th century, Henrico County was known as the Dairy County of Virginia. 56% of the farm operations in the area produced dairy and poultry products for the state capital region. In addition to dairy, there were cattle, hog, and poultry farms. There were 1,508 farms in Henrico County in 1910, but that number had dropped to 518 by 1960 as production and transportation improvements made the land more valuable for housing. However, there are still 178 farms raising hay and cattle in Henrico County, Virginia.
I'm Mark Viette. Coming up on In the Garden, we're going to talk about composting for everyone. Stay with us.
The farm has been in the family for 134 years. This has been my home. It's the only thing I've known.
Growing up on a dairy farm was great. You've got all the opportunities to have fun in the wide open spaces and enjoy working with the crops and the cattle, and it was a good way of growing up. I really enjoyed it.
I believe that the family farm is important in this country, no matter if it's 50 cows or 5,000 cows. A lot of the family farms consume their own products and they realize the importance of having a good, healthy product.
I am proud that our family and all of us here at this farm at Walkup can be involved in producing nutritious milk for the society. I'm Dan Myers, a fifth-generation dairy farmer from Virginia. I am dedicated to dairy, my cows, my milk, and my land.
Composting is beneficial for any garden, and as Mark Viette shows us, there's a new twist to composting using a sock in the garden.
Everybody can compost. You can compost your own garden debris, your leaves. Sometimes people compost their lawn clippings. At the same time, you can compost your coffee grounds or eggshells. Now, I don't really recommend putting any substances like oily things in your compost pile. They don't break down that quickly. And you can also have your compost pile hidden. I like to hide mine in the garden. Varieties of ways to compost your own things. You can compost right on top of the ground. It's sort of called sheet composting. It means you have a big area, but many of us have a very small yard. So you can use some of the barrel composting methods where you're turning your compost in this plastic bin. But I really like a very simple way of composting, and that is just getting something like a compost sack. And if you look at what I've got here, this is made up of old debris from leaves. Some of my old gourds and old pumpkins are in here. And I just keep adding layers over time. And you might have 2 or 3 of these in the garden. I'll use this one this year, and then I'll start another one next year. But if you reach down and you go all the way in to the bottom, you're going to find very dissolved compost after about a year. This isn't quite done yet. Liquid gold for your garden. A couple things that you need to keep in mind when you're making your compost pile, or if you're using a product like this, is weeds and things like that are great to use. Again, weeds without seeds. If you have weeds and they have seeds, and you can see the seeds blowing, your compost pile may not kill all the weed seeds. So if you have grass with weed seeds or other weeds like oxalis that are having flowers and full of weed seeds, if you put that in your compost and your compost doesn't dissolve at all, you could be spreading weeds back in your garden. I also like to use leaves in debris. So what I like to use is a layer of green, a layer of nice loose leaves, and at the same time, you can add a product called Compost Starter. And this is a product you use about a cup to every 16 square feet, and you just sprinkle it every so often on your compost pile, and this really aids in breaking down your compost. This is compost that you can use in your vegetable garden, around your plants, when you're planting new plants. It's rich in soil life. There is nothing better than having your own compost. But let me show you, if you don't have your own compost, what you can go out and find in the marketplace. If you don't have time to do your own compost, or if you don't have a garden that's big enough, you can go out and purchase your own compost. And this is known as a compost sock. It's filled with super compost. It's real easy to plant. You can put it on your deck, you can put it on your patio. Anyway, just pull up on this netting that lasts for 3 years. I'm going to plant 3 plants in this. It's this simple. And then all you do is you come in with your chives. It's going to be my garden salad or dressing to add to the salad. I'm going to put chives, parsley, another chives. If I want to put tomatoes, peppers, even strawberries. The strawberries are held on this nice mesh. They're not dirty, no dirt, no clay on the fruit at all. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
For more garden tips, go to inthegardenradio.com.
Up next on Real Virginia, looking for a delicious and cool treat? We have a new recipe for watermelon salad straight ahead.
This summer, conservation police officers
and Virginia State Troopers are teaming up to save lives.
Because we know the drunk boaters on the water
become drunk drivers on the highway.
Drunk boating is drunk driving.
Alcohol use is a leading factor in fatal boating accidents, and it's directly to blame for 1/3 of our fatal accidents on our highways.
Don't drink and drive.
And don't drink and boat.
Do your part to keep it a safe summer.
I'm Lee Lukowski.
And I'm Tiffany Lukowski from the Crush TV.
And we want to join the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries in reminding you to always wear a safety harness when hunting from a tree stand.
Be safe and happy hunting.
Many farmers markets still have locally produced fresh watermelon for sale. And as Kendra Bailey Morris shows us, there's a great recipe for watermelon salad in the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm Kendra Bailey Morris, and welcome to the Heart of the Home. We are here in Surlatab's gorgeous kitchen, where today we're going to be working with a Virginia favorite, and everyone loves this. I don't know anybody that doesn't love it, which is fresh watermelon. One of my favorite things to eat, just straight up with a little bit of salt on it. In this case, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, which is a watermelon salad, and we're going to add feta cheese. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, it works. Feta cheese, mint, and we're going to put some sugared nuts in there, and we're going to also add a little bit of Virginia country ham. So we have the kind of salty sweet thing going on. It's really, really good. So I'm going to start by making a vinaigrette, and this is just a very basic vinaigrette that we're going to use for the greens and then also for the salad itself with the watermelon. And I've got some honey. And I've also got a little bit of Dijon mustard. And this is just a great basic vinaigrette to know how to make. You can use it on any type of salad. It's really easy. And I've got some shallots, and these have already been minced up. About a teaspoon, 1 small shallot, equivalent of. And then I've got some balsamic vinegar. And you can use other vinegar if you want, but I really like balsamic with this because it has a sweetness to it that's really nice and balances well with the honey and the Dijon mustard. Okay, so I'm gonna bring a little salt over here. And what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and whisk in some extra virgin olive oil. And when you're making vinaigrettes, it's very important to go ahead and splurge on the higher quality extra virgin olive oil versus regular, because it really does give a great flavor. And you have to think that the vinaigrette in many ways is gonna be the foundation for the salad. It's gonna bring it all together really nicely. Looks great. And I'm just going to whisk that in, get it partially emulsified, add a tiny bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Okay. So next we're going to make our sugared pecans. And while pecans aren't necessarily real prevalent in Virginia, we do have our peanuts. We love our nuts, but you could use walnuts if you wanted to as well. And this is just a really, really nice, it's a snack, and it's also really great on the salad, as you'll see. And I've got 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter that I'm just going to put in a nonstick pan. You could use salted if you wanted as well. And I'm going to add some brown sugar to this. And all we're really doing is melting these two together, and we're going to try and get the sugar as non-grainy as possible. All right, and I'm going to add a little black pepper. So these are kind of spicy sweet nuts that we're going to be adding. Pecans or pecan, depending on your preference. And I'm going to add a little cayenne to this as well. And you could add a little bit or a lot, depending on how much spicy sweet you like to use. These are really great if you were having a party and just wanted to set them out in a bowl. People would eat them up because they're so yummy. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and add my pecans. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and cook these for about 5 or 6 minutes, and then we're going to put them on some wax paper or some parchment paper so they don't stick, because they're very sticky. They don't stick together. Let them dry and crust up a little bit or crisp up, and then they're going to go into our watermelon salad. We'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to assemble our salad, and we've got our watermelon ready to go, and Virginians really love their watermelon. We produce more than 30 million pounds, which is amazing, and it's good stuff. I will definitely vouch for that. So what I'm going to do now is I've got my vinaigrette, and I'm going to go ahead and just maybe take a tablespoon or 2 of it, and I'm going to toss it with some greens. And I've got spinach here, but you could certainly use baby kale, or if you wanted to use arugula, that would all work really nicely. And you really just want to moisten this a little bit because we're going to serve the rest of the dressing on the side. Perfect, just a little bit. And now we're going to add our watermelon. There's a lot of pretty colors in this dish too. All right, and a little bit of feta cheese. Or a lot, depending on how you want to do it. I mean, this right here is already a beautiful dish. But we're going to take it up another level and add some Virginia country ham. And what I've done with this already is I've pan-seared it for about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes to get it nice and crispy. So you have that crunch in there. I'm just going to sprinkle a little country ham. And then, of course, we have our sugared pecans, or pecan, depending on how you like to say it. And these, again, are going to add crunch and sweetness to balance out the saltiness of the ham. These are really great. And the final piece to this puzzle is going to be just some fresh mint. And Virginia herbs are in season, definitely during the summer, and they're really wonderful. I encourage you to go out and clip as many as you can from your garden or buy them from your farmer's market. And here we have it, a watermelon salad with country ham, feta, and we have sugared pecans. I'm Kendra Bailey Morris. Let's get cooking.
Recipes from the heart of the home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafarmbureau.org.
You need 5 things to grow watermelon: sun, soil, seed, bees, and water. Farmers generally grow watermelon in rows 8 to 12 feet apart in raised beds 4 to 12 inches high, composed of fertilized sand or sandy loam. It takes 3 months for the crop to mature and be ready to harvest. Watermelons are about 90% water, so the drier the summer growth period, the sweeter the fruit. More than 1,300 acres of commercial watermelon were planted in Virginia in 2012, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. That same year, the watermelon industry was valued at $3 million in Virginia.
The tradition returns at the State Fair of Virginia, September 27th through October 6th at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell. Come enjoy all the thrills, from the midway rides and games to every kind of fried food imaginable. Funnel cakes to corn dogs, there's something for kids of all ages. Like live music, we'll have music every day and night at the fair, including a host of national acts. Horse shows and exhibits can be seen every day at the fair. Young McDonald's Farm returns and continues the tradition of the baby ducks, cows, sheep, llamas, and Goat Mountain. And don't forget the Dairy Birthing Center. The fair is a great way for school kids to visit Virginia's largest outdoor classroom with 12 SOL certified agriculture and forestry exhibits. Hundreds of students from all over the state will compete for scholarships and state bragging rights by showing their prize animals. Come see the state's largest pumpkin and watermelon. It doesn't matter if you're 1 or 101, there's something for everyone to enjoy. It's a Virginia family tradition that promises memories to last a lifetime. To learn more, go to statefairva.org.
It's the time of the year when college students return to the classroom and the books. And for many of them, they're studying agriculture. As Patrick Dunn reports, this is one career that has a lot of growth potential.
Agriculture in Virginia is big business. In fact, it's the largest industry in the state. The College of Agricultural and Life Sciences here at Virginia Tech is a great way to get a career started in the agricultural field.
Students may choose one of 10 different degrees in the department, and graduates are being placed around the state and country. They're finding work in a wide-ranging industry, with careers from farms and cooperatives to hospitals and food product companies. Dr. Susan Sumner says the department has been adapting its curriculum over the past 5 years to meet the changing needs of the marketplace. Team building, communication skills, and extensive hands-on experience make their graduates extremely marketable.
The agriculture field is not what people think it is. It's very science-based, it's very technology-based, and all of our students have to recognize that, and that's where they shine. And that's what our students are able to do, because they often take classes outside their majors within the college, and they can see the business side of what's going on. And so when you look at the need right now, part of one of the greatest needs are students that have our skill sets. For the jobs that are predicted in the next 4 or 5 years, the students coming out from us have those skill sets.
The college has moved away from a commodities-focused instructional approach to one where students receive broad-based training. It's paying off. More than 90% of graduating seniors already have a job or are pursuing a professional career as a doctor or veterinarian. Sumner says students in other science-oriented degrees are taking notice and transferring to the Agricultural and Life Sciences Department because of their track record. It certainly helps that agriculture and food is a major part of Virginia's economy.
If we look back at the degrees our students are going after, and you look at how that places them in the world economy, you have to start in the state of Virginia. Agriculture-related jobs and things in Virginia is the largest industry in Virginia. Huge impact on the state of Virginia. But globally, with the 9 billion people we have, we're going to have to feed those individuals. So it goes from not just from raising the crops, but also going into what are the quality, how do we process those foods, and the nutritional value, and that really pulls it all together.
But students say that the knowledge and skills they learn as an ag major are just as important as their good job prospects. There's a connection to your work in agriculture that you don't often find in other careers.
Most of our majors have the word science in there, but it's not always just the hard science, because when you're learning about genetically breeding an animal or how to best raise animals or how to best grow plants, you immediately take that back and transition that back to the farmer or to the person using that information. And again, I think that's the connection that students really enjoy about our college and our majors, because they immediately see a connection for what they've done for 4 years going back to society. And they have an immediate impact on the health and welfare of society.
Almost 500 students earned an undergraduate or graduate degree from the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences this spring, in disciplines ranging from agribusiness to animal and poultry sciences, and Tech is not the only Virginia college offering agriculture degrees. Virginia State University in Petersburg also has a strong agriculture program.
On the college campus of Virginia Tech, for Real Virginia, I'm Patrick Dunn.
That's going to do it for this edition of Real Virginia. We are so glad you could join us to celebrate the bounty Virginia has to offer, whether it's in your home, your garden, or your landscape. This truly is Real Virginia. So for everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a good month.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia.